Welcome back to the Back in Time channel. Being known as a famous contemporary gospel duo, Mary Mary consists of two sisters, Trishina and Erica Atkins Campbell. Their first debut album, Thankful, was launched in 2000, which they had a major hit single on it called Shackles. They also followed up with release of other albums throughout the years, which spawned #1 spots on the top gospel album charts. Even though the duo is a force to be reckoned with, a lot of people don't know Mary Mary, the duo, was originally almost a trio. The two sisters actually had another sister who was going to be the third member but decided to go to school.
For 4 years. Yeah, about 4 years now. And there was supposed to be a third group member, Lisa. Come here, Lisa. She wanted to pursue medicine.
This is our sister Lisa.
She wanted to be a doctor, so
While we were in the studio cutting songs, she was away in college, taking chemistry classes and physics, biology, microbiology,
bless
organic
her heart.
chemistry.
Organic
Genetics.
chemistry.
Somebody has to do it, not me, thank God.
Lord, I'm thankful for my blessings, everything that you gave. Times when danger was around me, oh my life, Lord, you saved. Where would I be without your love? Where would I be without your grace? You didn't have to do it, but I'm glad you did. One more time.
Although the third member decided to take a different career path, Mary Mary still went on to do great things, like performing at the White House, winning 4 Grammys, and they also sold over 8 million records worldwide. Mary Mary's popularity also opened doors for them to receive their own TV show. In 2012, WeTV launched Mary Mary, a reality televised show where you followed the lives of the sisters. The show gave great behind the scenes of the daily lives of the two sisters as a group, with studio sessions, sound check, stage rehearsals, and also having to make hard management and executive decisions.
You point out everything wrong every single damn day.
If you don't calm yourself down, we can end this relationship now. You can be fired, you can walk on and do whatever you're gonna do with the rest of your clients.
During the filming of the show, with crazy tour dates, being away from home a lot, Tina, one half of the duo, grew irritated a lot. She started to feel pressured and overwhelmed by the group being so demanding on her schedule-wise and on her life. She also felt like she was taking too much time away from her kids and her husband, and it didn't help by him reminding her how little time that they spent together.
Lately, I haven't been as happy because there's so much going on with Mary Mary. When you come home, you can't turn it off because you're getting ready to wake back up and do something else with Mary Mary. So you never get a chance to come down off this Mary Mary high. And it just don't feel good. I'm not really that happy. I feel overlooked and you have to change it.
So let me ask you this. What do you want me to do differently? So I'm serious, baby, because I don't want you to feel like that.
We don't haven't had time for us.
Tina got to the point where she wanted to leave the group and take a break for a while, and Erica felt differently. This caused conflict between the two sisters and lots of bad moments with them on the road together. Now, even though they have their typical sibling fights, it was beginning to get a little bit out of hand.
Me and Tina have been so stressed out with Mary Mary and trying to balance and understand each other until I think Erica and Tina are kind of distant and lost a little bit. But I love her with all of my heart. She wanted me to go because I was irritated, but I think the things that you don't realize...
What you irritated with about me?
We have differences in opinions in how we want to work, and how often we want to go to the studio, and how often we want to gig, and how many things we want to say yes to, whether that's red carpets, events, all kinds of things. There's a lot of that goes on, and we just write it off into stuff that I want to do, and I just like, oh, well, whatever. She don't want to go.
Do you realize that there are countless things that I commit to because I feel pressured? You just want to work, 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 and I'm thinking screw touring and all of these great opportunities, because when all that goes away, this is my life that's going to be with me forever.
Am I forced to just sit at home because your commitment is different than mine? Does that mean that I do more solo stuff?
Go look at your calendar for the past 3 or 4 years and find out when we have had pockets of downtime. You act like I say no to every other thing. What is this? You really want to work and I really don't. I do want to work more than you. We know that. That's not a lie. I'm not making that up. How many times do I give a yes and you give a no? You know what, Erica? That's being ridiculous. Maybe we should go and break apart.
With the both of them noticing that things was going a bit too far, they eventually worked it all together out as sisters, and they eventually got through it. The biggest challenge, though, for Tina wasn't just quote-unquote Mary. It was also when she discovered infidelity in her marriage. Apparently, her husband Teddy had been cheating on her with a close family friend, and Tina had to deal with the hurt and emotions of it all. And it had her devastated, and she even lost herself for a little bit.
Tina, how'd you find out about the affairs?
Someone actually who knows me very well, they were watching me on the reality show, and I was always saying, I can leave all of this. I can just go and I'm just be with my husband, and I don't need none of this, just me and Teddy, and they can have this. And they were like, listen, I hate to have to say this to you, and I followed the information that I found out for 6 months to make sure it was true, because I don't want to break your heart, but don't stop doing what you're doing, because you might need to take care of you and your kids. So they told me about 2 of them, right? I had talked to my husband 2 days before I was in New York, and I talked to him and I was like, listen, honey, I got reason to believe there's something that's going on, and I need you to be, I'm coming to you because I love you and I want to be able to work through whatever this is, and I need you to tell me. We stayed on the phone for 1 hour and 8 minutes. He didn't give me nothing. So when we came home, the person who it was, she used to work for me, and so that broke my heart. She was like a godmother to my children. She had access to my home to come get my kids and all that kind of stuff. It was very, mixed in our family. And so I called, and she didn't answer her phone. So when we got home, Super Bowl Sunday, I said, come upstairs. I said, are you having an affair with her? And he said, no. I said, call her. While we doing this, I was like, call her. And so he did. And he was like, Tina wants to know, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, are you sleeping with my husband? And she hung up the phone, so I had my answer. So it broke my heart. It devastated me, and I spazzed out. I destroyed 3 cars. I cut up and crashed up and tried to stab and plotted murders and all kind of crazy stuff because I was angry. And I started doing...
This was one of the hardest things Tina had to go through, because it wasn't just in her private life, it was also public too. And many viewers from the reality TV show got to see all her raw emotions play out.
You see, I have been trying since the very beginning. The situation gets a little worse, and then I try to forgive, and it gets a little worse, and I try to forgive. You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? I thought we had a good life just like everybody else watching. I thought we was the ideal relationship just like everybody else. And I got to find out in front of the whole goddamn world that all of my life was a lie? And you want me to quote scriptures right now?
I don't want you to
want me
quote
to say what I don't, you want me to say something that's all positive? I feel negative right now.
I know
I
that.
just want you to understand that.
I know that.
I never kissed another man. I never went out with another man. I never entertained the wrong conversation. I never cheated in my head. I never did anything. I was 190% committed to that man. And this is what you did? Every time I was gone, you stole my life away from me. I'm angry.
Although Tina faced a very difficult time, because she herself had been through a similar situation, she was lucky and she had her sister Erica to stand by and support her. Not only was she there to support her, but she also gave her advice. With her husband Warren Campbell, who allegedly cheated and got someone pregnant, and knowing how it felt to be betrayed firsthand, she gave big sisterly advice to her sister Tina.
The steps to get better.
That right there is impossible.
So you said you never been through this, right? I have. Listen to me for a second. You ain't never been through it. I have. I'ma tell you how you get better. Even though you want to be negative, you make a conscious effort and a decision like you fighting a on the street and work toward positive. That's all you can do. That's the only choice you have.
The communication stopped. I went and started staying in New York more. She was on the road. And then I ended up forging some relationship with some other girl. That girl gets pregnant. She ends up not having a baby. And then I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And so I want my wife. I don't want none of this. This is about to be, I don't know whose life I'm getting ready to start living, but I don't want it anymore.
After separating and with Teddy leaving their home for a little while, Tina was still open to getting counseling and saving their marriage. Teddy also sought out to do quote-unquote the work within himself to get help, be better, and get back to his family. They eventually got back to a place where they could reunite and be under one roof again and continue to work towards healing. While the sisters was on break of their group Mary Mary, Erica started to rebrand and build a solo career of her own, which won her a Grammy for Best Gospel Album. While the two sisters took time to live their lives and prioritize the things that they had going on, Tina Campbell also decided to do some solo music, inspired by the healing that was taking place in her marriage. But that quickly came to a halt after Tina decided to announce she was voting for, at the time, Donald Trump for president. She faced a firestorm of backlash in 2016 when she did this. She claimed between him and Hillary Clinton, she chose based on two lesser evils in her Christian beliefs. This was a scary situation to be in and a part of, because although she was doing solo stuff on her own, which she had to cancel because of poor ticket sales due to her announcing this, she also was still one half of Mary Mary, which could possibly have ruined their entire brand. Not to mention Erica being her sister, and by association, her career also could have suffered as well.
What I said is, if during your campaign what you said appealed to me and it appealed to my Christian values more than the other candidate, then when it comes down to it, I chose based on my faith. I didn't really like either one of the candidates, if I could just be honest. But it was two people that had the chance of winning, and so I voted based on my faith. Do I agree with everything that's being done and being said? No. Do I promote and advocate any of that? No. And do I choose to give any more of my time to anybody who has an opinion about my right to vote and to who I vote for and what behind it? Not at all. So what's the next question?
Okay. You do have a right to vote for who you want to vote for, who you want to stand, but people were upset, and you can understand.
I ain't out campaigning for nobody but Jesus.
The sisters were still able to be Mary Mary and reunite with award show performances, many tours, and with Tina taking time home and still focusing on family, and with Erica thriving in her career. As to date, new music being in the works or an album to be released of the duo has yet to be announced. But because of this really being a break and them never really breaking up, we'll just have to stay hopeful for another album and keep our fingers crossed. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. But before you go, tell me your thoughts down below and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe here with us at Back in Time. But until next time.
Don't you feel tough?
Yeah.
Don't you feel strong?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like going home?
Shut up.
Then get the hell out of my apartment.